Hi, friends, and welcome back to the Ladylorians show. We're so excited. We get to talk about the second episode of Boba Fett this week. I don't know if we have anything else on the table, but with us, things come up, so.
I have something on the table.
Oh, geez. Let's start with that first.
It's my favorite condiment. Balsamic vinegar?
My God.
Elmo took over the internet this week.
Can't. I feel like we're transitioning to more of a general pop culture podcast.
I know.
So we can talk about that. He's having an epic resurgence.
He is having a moment.
Did you see his
Do you think
he is the moment?
He is.
Oh yeah, all the Rocco drama.
Yes.
Rocco.
I know.
I don't say anything, but
who you really
has Elmo ever, been to space? Probably.
When?
He's Elmo. He's on everything.
There's probably been a Sesame Street episode about that. We should dive deep into the Elmo history.
I am Googling right now. Don't worry. I got you. Here's Elmo standing next to R2-D2. I don't really know what it means, but
it means the Ladylorians show.
Wow. Elmo knows everyone.
See, we're on topic.
I remember when Emma was on the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show. I remember I was obsessed with Jimmy Fallon for a long time, and when that came out, I thought it was the funniest thing ever, and now it's coming back up again, and I'm just having flashbacks to when it first came out. So good.
Jimmy Fallon stan. We've got a closeted Jimmy Fallon stan.
Hey, and what about it? He's funny. I personally think he's the best Tonight co-host.
I don't really care for any of them.
Okay, I get that.
I don't really care.
I'm not your favorite.
I'm not a late night TV show kind of girl, except for SNL, but that's not a talk show. That's just
yeah.
But I also cannot comment on Jimmy Fallon because I will get sniped by my employer.
Oh yeah. He has money coming into his pocket from your boss, so
I am technically employed by NBC, so
I can't stand Seth Meyers.
Oh.
Yeah,
because
I don't watch.
I can he seems really full of himself, and I can tell that he thinks he's way funnier than he is, and he laughs at his own jokes and just seems really smug.
I hate Jimmy.
I really liked
Jimmy
him
Kimmel.
on SNL. You don't like Jimmy Kimmel? What's your beef with Jimmy Kimmel?
I think he's rude. I think there's some things Jimmy Fallon, he has his moments. I just think Jimmy Fallon's there for a good time, and you can tell. And if someone doesn't tell him something, he just laughs it off and whatever. But Jimmy Kimmel attacks them. He's what I heard. I just think he's full of himself. I don't know. I don't know them in person, so no one come for me.
Yeah.
We're just
my dad is more, I mean, he doesn't watch Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, but he watched he used to watch Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
And I always liked watching that when my dad had it on, but he does something else now. I don't really know what he hosts anymore.
I think Stephen Colbert is a DILF.
They all are. So
Jimmy Fallon,
girl, have you seen him?
Wait, are you also talking?
Dodge.
Wait,
no,
you
but
said
I'm
you
saying compared
You said
to everyone else.
You said
Jimmy
all
Fallon?
Everyone else.
You said
He's
all of
Look
them.
at me like that.
So this also includes James Corden. Are you saying that you find James Corden attractive? Because I'm genuinely concerned. Okay, because you said all of them, as in all the late night hosts.
No, I said compared to everyone else. I think Jimmy.
No,
Fallon's
but at the
best.
beginning, I said
Stephen
Stephen
sorry
Colbert
for
is
the
a
Star
DILF.
Wars listeners.
I would
5 minutes into this argument.
Okay. My opinion is that James Corden is at the very bottom, and then Jimmy Fallon is above him, but only by one.
Okay, but who's your favorite? Who's your favorite then? I'm confused.
Who's the most attractive?
Yeah,
Jimmy Kimmel. He's the most attractive.
Are
Personality-wise, do I care for him? Not really, but attractiveness-wise, Jimmy Kimmel's the most. Jimmy Kimmel's the most
yeah, laugh at your own response. It sucks.
No, you're saying that Jimmy Fallon is more attractive than Jimmy Kimmel?
Yes.
That's not true. That is not true.
Absolutely.
Okay, where does Conan O'Brien stand? Because I feel like he looks like the Lucky Charms leprechaun.
He literally he's
bottom tier too.
He looks like a leprechaun.
I don't find him attractive at all. One bit. I think he's funny. I don't think Jimmy Kimmel's funny at all. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I don't find him attractive, because like humor is the way to my heart. So
yeah,
I think
Conan is funny.
Conan's funny. Yeah. But anyways.
Want to talk about Star Wars?
Anyways, let's talk about his Star Wars.
Anyways, speaking of attractive older men, Boba Fett.
All right, look, I'm sorry.
We need to do a formal apology.
Well, I'm sorry that I was skeptical about the first episode.
Oh, yes, I would like to apologize.
I do think that the first episode suffered Robert Rodriguez syndrome, because that blue lightning did look like it was out of Spy Kids. Okay, I'm sorry. And I stand by that.
So did the monster.
However,
from the island.
Looked Power Rangers-esque to me, but I will say that episode 2 has me on board now. Yes. I was actively screaming "yeah" at the top of my lungs.
Agreed.
Okay. I love the space Lone Ranger vibes, and I love how they're using it as an allegory for building community with indigenous peoples and respecting their land. I'm here for a lot of things, and I'm ready to talk about them all, but I wanted to pose an apology for being a boba bro, because I was skeptical at first, and I was going to share that because it's our job to be honest with y'all.
I mean,
and I wasn't a hater, but I was a skeptic, but now I'm on board.
Yeah. How about you, Kenzie?
No, I literally texted us, like our group chat, and was like, the universe really hurt us, saying that we were like underwhelmed in the first episode and then gave us the second episode. And like I said, all throughout the first episode, like I don't think any of us were like like Ruthie said, like we weren't haters or like trying to like hate it on. Like we were genuinely excited for the show. I just think a lot of us were a little underwhelmed in that first episode.
Something. Yeah,
it was just like missing something, but the second episode like gave us everything we were missing. I feel like
it needed a little spice.
Yes, I totally agree. Like coming into this episode, I was still skeptical, but oh my gosh, it delivered so much. And I was like, I woke up early for work, and I watched it before work, and I was just waiting for someone to mention something into the group chat, and then Kenzie was like, by the way, guys, how do we feel about that episode? Because it delivered. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm glad I'm not the only one. So yes. I just think this episode was so good. I really wish that they came out with the first and second episode on the same day. Like, I just wish that, because like that way we got like our foundation and started straight into the story like at the same time, and it wasn't like we had to wait a week of just like confusion and all that stuff. But I'm so excited for this series now. This episode was so good. I
feel like some elements of episode 2 really would have been helpful in the pilot and useful in the pilot. And I feel like if some of the stuff we got to see in episode 2 was included in episode 1, or the directors were switched or something for those 2 episodes, that a lot more people would be into this series. Because a lot of people, judge a show by the pilot and, decide whether or not they're going to watch it based on the pilot. And I just feel like the first episode didn't make a good impression on me. But this second one, I was like, oh, where was this energy in episode 1? But I loved it so much. What do you all think?
I mean, okay. Also, I want to say like our opinions are not everyone's opinions, because I did talk to like one of my friends and they were talking about how like they didn't really mind that the first episode was like slower or what we deemed as like underwhelming, because they're like kind of looking at the series as being like a 6-hour long Boba Fett movie instead of like a TV show, because it is like a limited series. So right, it it's only going to be the 6 episodes.
Yeah.
7 episodes.
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know if there's going to be a season 2, but
so they didn't really mind that first episode being slower. Like I said, for me, I could have used just a little bit more. I'm not saying it had to be like completely action packed. But again, I think the second episode really delivered. It had, you know, a little like comic book character moment, which we could talk about, which I'm super excited about that one. And just like callbacks or like references to these like other characters in the Star Wars universe, but not anyone that's like, you know, it's not like Luke showing up. It's like these like small little things for Star Wars fans, but it's not like 100. I mean, again, we talked about like we kind of think the whole series is fan servicey in general.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
absolutely.
like it wasn't these like super fan service heavy moments of like, oh, this super famous character. It was just like little callbacks.
Yeah, for sure. I know exactly what you're referring to, and I'm really excited to talk about that because, you know, like I'm the original trilogy stan, and I love, you know, old Star Wars and original Star Wars. Like that's my jam. And so, you know, I always get really excited about these new shows like Mando and Book of Boba Fett and The Bad Batch and how they're going to call back to the original trilogy and, you know, show characters and references from the original trilogy and tie into the larger narrative. And I mean, Bad Batch is really cool because it occurs right before the original trilogy, or not right before, you know, but, you know, we've gotten to see a new side, you know, of the Empire rising to power, which we haven't really seen in the cinematic universe. And then with Mando and Book of Boba Fett, you know, these are series that are occurring directly after, you know, the events of the original trilogy. So we're kind of seeing things like from both ends and how they're tying into each end of the original trilogy. And you guys know I'm here for that. So
yeah, I definitely like that it's filling in some of those gaps that we've been having. You know, we had the original trilogy, and then timeline wise, right, the next trilogy is the sequels, and that's a huge gap in time, and a lot of questions are still there about what happened in between those times. So that's why I really like having these shows like Mando and Book of Boba to kind of bridge that time and really see what was happening after, because the fall of the Empire was truly like obviously like a literal galaxy changing event.
huge.
And we pick back up in the First Order started, and we just like don't have a lot of information besides legends about what happens during that time period. So being able to see that is super interesting to me. And again, I'm also someone who like is a big fan of the original trilogy. For me, it's very nostalgic. That's, you know, my first memories of Star Wars are watching A New Hope, and that movie will always give me like the warm and fuzzies no matter how many times I watch it. So I'm super happy to see stuff about it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like I'm the same way. I just love, y'all know how much I love Mando, and so I'm so happy to see like I love the flashbacks so much because I just have so many questions about Boba. Like, yeah, he survived, but like how did he get his robes, and how did he get his stick, and why was he on Tatooine this whole time, and all this stuff. And I love how these like flashbacks are showing us that, but it's also giving us so much more like personification of the Tusken Raiders and seeing about like the spice runs on Tatooine. Like that's just like stuff that you don't really think about and you don't know that it exists. And the fact that they're adding these little things that we see in Clone Wars, like the spice wars and all this stuff, like is seeing that in live action is just so cool. And I love that Boba's a part of all of it. And we had no idea this whole time.
I agree, Dodge. And like Kenzie and I have said so many times, like some of the best Star Wars like isn't focused on Jedi and Sith. And Star Wars, you know, it's such a large universe with so many integral parts and different people with, you know, different things that make them unique and interesting. And, you know, like this is a series that isn't centered around Jedi and Sith. And even Mando, like it low-key is. So I feel like this is like one of the first series besides the Bad Batch that we've had in a long time that is really exploring people that don't wield lightsabers and don't have magical powers and can't control the Force and stuff like that. And it's sometimes way more interesting than, you know, lightsaber battles and magic and wizardry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I agree
Yeah.
with you. I find like the culture and politics and stuff of Star Wars a lot more interesting sometimes than the spectacle.
Exactly.
But there's also plenty of spectacle in this episode.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. with that being said, what are some things we want to get into about this episode that we were like,
okay. For me, like my moment was getting to see Tashi Station.
Yeah,
like,
I saw that and I was like, Ruthie!
It's so cool. It didn't click with me at first, and I was watching it with my boyfriend, and he was like freaking out. And then I was like, then I saw Cammy and Fixer, and I was like, oh my god, Tashi Station. And you know, characters from the original trilogy that whose scenes were deleted and stuff. So, like you said, it was just a really like niche thing, like for Star Wars fans. But no, I mean, like it was so cool to see Cammy and Fixer because they're characters that are like in the OT, but they're from deleted scenes. So like it's a really subtle thing that, you know, only a certain crowd of Star Wars fans would pick up on, but it was really meaningful for those of us who did. And I thought it was so cool to see them and see new actors casted as them, and you know, like
they looked
it was
just
so
like them.
I was gonna. That's literally what I was gonna say.
I was literally like looking at them and I was like, they're not that young, are they? Like
they're not CGI. Like
yeah, like
no,
they look just like them.
They did a really good job casting that. And like I said, it was just, if that this episode particularly felt very nostalgic for the like beginning of Star Wars, and again, what made a lot of us fall in love with this world. And it was very like wholesome for me to watch. Like when I tell you, like I was staring at my TV screen like the whole episode.
When I was watching it with my boyfriend, he said they're still waiting on Luke to come pick up those power converters. He never came. But I feel like it's so cool because we're seeing like Luke's like stomping grounds as well. And I feel like it's just cool getting to explore more of Tatooine and seeing how diverse it is. New sand monsters and stuff. Like every episode, I'm like, how do y'all live? Where do y'all get your water? Like, what's going on?
Questions.
So many questions about Tatooine, but yeah, it's really diverse. And also, can we talk about the twins? The twin Hutts?
Yes.
Oh,
that
yes.
was crazy.
I'm sorry. I'm still in Puppet Gang. I'm like, CGI, yes, it's way more of an improvement since like the prequels. But like, I love puppetry. I want them to like return to puppet time, okay? And masks and costumes, and I love that like kind of like vintage look, especially because this is occurring like directly after like the original trilogy. I just wish that the aesthetics were carried over, even if they were like a little bit corny, you know. But there's ways that we can update that now and stuff. Like even like in puppetry, there's been so many advancements and things, and so I was like, oh, they're CGI. I was like, but they looked really good. They did look really good.
My question is,
yes,
these twins, right? They're twin. Where did they come from? Because right? If you've watched Clone Wars, you know about Stinky.
I get you. Keep going.
Like right in the very beginning, it's literally, is it the Clone Wars movie that it's in, where you have
pretty sure
baby Jabba, right? Like So why are there twins? Because where is Stinky? Where
they literally. Where's Stinky? Okay.
Where is he?
Because I just think the Hutts are just multiplying because they're just coming from.
Are they hatched? Is that how they have?
I want to see the family tree. I want to see the family tree.
I do want to see the family tree.
Explain.
I'm like, okay, cousins. So I'm just so confused about where they're all coming from and where they're hiding.
Yeah.
Also, their freaking color coordination. I was like, Cosmo and Wanda. Like,
I know. I was like, Cosmo and Wanda ain't slick.
I was literally like, oh my gosh, cameo. Like pop off, I guess. But it was just, and I thought they were like a couple, and they're like, oh, the twins, and I was like, okay, they're like on top of each other, and I was like, all right, like that sounds.
I
like,
love Miss Girl's fan. Can we talk about her like fanning herself? I was like, okay, icon, like she's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment.
And how are they able to carry them? That's what I was thinking. Like there was
That's
like
all I could
6
think about,
people,
too.
and I was like, how?
Maybe they're hollow
Just
on
the
the
math
inside.
isn't mathy. Like I was a little confused about that one, but
The math
They're on
isn't
space.
nothing.
They're clearly on space steroids to be able to carry them.
exactly.
Well, also, what is the
Period.
gravitational pull like on Tatooine?
that is
you
true.
know, what's
We
the
didn't
gravity
go
like?
into the physics.
We have to
Yeah,
account
but
for this.
we have to like assume it's similar to Earth's, right? Because those are human. There's a lot of human people there that walk around just like they would on Earth. So
Whatever. Well, maybe those people carrying the litter, the thing or whatever, they're just really strong.
also the obsession
Maybe
with
they lift.
the like litter whatever thing. And this
Yeah,
like
they're all like,
it's
we didn't see it. It's like in every conversation, it's like, oh, I didn't see it. And it's
Yeah,
like, all
they're
right,
like they're roasting Boba for not having an entourage.
Yeah.
Basically.
yeah, literally at every single moment, like
every
since the first
moment.
episode.
And I'm like, so.
There's if we're done with talking about the twins, there's like a very important thing we haven't covered yet from this episode.
There's a lot. So,
the Wookiee bounty hunter.
frick yeah, boy. Listen, when this man walked into the picture, I was literally like, oh my god. Like
what is their name again? Because they
Okay,
have
okay.
like a specific name. It's like a Chris.
okay, it's black croissant or something.
Yeah, black croissant.
Croissantan or something like that. Even the creator doesn't know
hold
how
on.
to say it, apparently. Like, no one knows how to say his name because he appeared in the Marvel Star Wars universe comic books back in the day as a bounty hunter for
Nicknamed BK, Santi,
What?
or Black K.
Why was he so cool? Like, he literally, like, oh, he's so
I'm obsessed.
cool.
They have a
Obsessed.
name, and I don't remember how to pronounce it. It starts with a K.
It's
like
literally
it's
black
or something.
It's black.
Croissantan, but 2 R's.
Croissantan, yeah.
Croissantan.
That's I'm on Wiki. I'm on Wikipedia.
No one knows how
Okay.
to say it because it's never
Cool.
been like.
It's never
said.
been
I
said.
saw somebody like figure out how to say it, and they spelled it out like on Twitter. So somebody
Well,
knows
I'm
from
sure.
something, but
Anyways, what a baddie! What a baddie! I want to know everything about this man. Okay, because
Yeah.
apparently,
Can he
when
get his own
the-
show? I don't even care. We haven't
Yeah,
even
who
seen
cares?
him. I want
Like,
it.
apparently when the MCU split and there was multi-universes, he came over to the Star Wars universe because this kid, like all the Marvel nerds were like, oh my gosh, it's canon, all this stuff. And so now I want to know. And apparently, he was an assassin who is going against Boba, but then Boba hired him. And so then he was on Boba's side. So I'm like, I think we're going to see him again on Boba's side.
yeah, there's gonna be
eventually.
some drama here.
There's no way they're going to drop that character and he's just going to be gone, you know?
Yeah, no way.
So
I
I'm
called
so
him Emo
excited.
Chewy. I called him Emo
He
Chewy.
does look like Emo Chewy. That's what I thought at first. Like, I was like, who is it? Like, his whole... And then Fennec just, like, cocks her gun. I was like, okay, girl. He's gonna kill you. So...
They have some
Just-
beef for sure.
They have some... Yeah, maybe they have a history. Like, we don't know. Maybe we'll see
I would
that
love to
in
see it.
Bad Batch. You know?
Kenzie, what are you looking up?
I'm just on Wikipedia, like looking at where he's come from. He was in a lot of the Vader comics. He was
Mhm.
in this series called Dr. Afro, which I'm not a comic reader, so I don't know anything about any of these comics.
He was part of the Marvel comics.
The
of
Marvel Star Wars comics. Yeah, this
Exactly.
is
Mhm.
one of them.
So there's a lot of in-betweens.
So
and all
he
that
was
jazz.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I didn't know there was a crossover between the two of them like that. Like, I didn't know Marvel was the
Back
one who
in
made
the
a lot of the
day.
Star. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well,
say back
actually,
in the
it
day,
was
like the
It's like 2015.
yeah,
Back in the
it was
day,
2015.
You and me, baby.
Yeah.
It
We
was
knew how
2015,
to fun.
2016. But he
Yeah.
was in like the Darth Vader ones and Dr. Afra, which again, I'm not a comic girly. I wish I had the
Don't
time
even.
in my life to be one. Y'all
But here
know
we
the
are,
the only comics I have read are the four series of Rise of Kylo Ren.
God.
Oh, mine is like the
But-
Sunday newspaper when you go to the funny papers.
Garfield.
That too.
Yeah.
Garfield.
Those kind of comics I can do.
Yeah, I can do those little 3 squares. Yeah.
Peanuts.
Yeah, that's
Good.
my attention span.
Peanuts.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm so excited to see him
He's so
again.
cool.
I'm
I'm gonna
excited to see where the twins are now in the series. Like,
Yeah.
are we gonna see more Hutts? Are we just gonna be dealing with them? Like,
where
I'm just
#where is
intrigued.
Stinky 2022?
Exactly. Because like now I want to know like how do they grow? Like, how old are they? You know, are they like Yoda, where they're like 500 and something years old, and they're finally
Yeah, how do they age?
mature age?
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
So he could still be a baby, but I don't know.
How old was Jabba when he? I'm sure there's an answer somewhere. Hold on.
Yeah, find on Wikipedia.
There's always answers on Wikipedia.
There's always Wikipedia.
I owe my
think
life to Wikipedia. That's
yeah,
what I have
literally,
to
as
say.
a Star Wars nerd, like y'all out there that are like, oh.
On StarWars.com, it doesn't have his age, but it does in fact have his dimensions.
I don't even know if
He
I
is-
want to know that.
the puppet
he-
dimension?
He is 3.9 meters. That's all it says. It says
Meters?
dimensions. Yes,
Like,
3.9
tall or
meters.
wide?
It just says dimensions. It doesn't give any more. He okay. Yeah, it says okay, he's height. He's 3.9 meters tall. And he weighs 1,358 kilograms. Anyways,
Period.
he was born in 600 BBY and he died in 4 ABY. So is he 400 in 4 years old?
And then he
Oh,
was
no.
400. Wait, and then he died in 400.
No,
No,
in
he
ABY.
died in 4 ABY, right? Because Return
Yeah,
of the Jedi was ABY.
Yeah. So he died in 4 ABY. So
how does math? Like,
how does it
what?
go down? Does it go down? As you get closer.
Where's the birth of Jesus in this one? Like, I don't know how to.
Does it get so as we get closer to ABY, is the years going down or is it going up?
Is it before baby
So
Yoda?
is he-
like what is
was-
baby
It's
Yoda?
the Battle of Yavin.
Yeah. So okay. So he was 604 years old when he died. Then if he was born in
Dang.
600 BBY,
Okay.
Healthcare.
so he was 604 years old. So then yeah, maybe Stinky is still a baby, just like Baby Yoda.
Aww.
Stinky.
Dang it. Oh my gosh, Stinky comes back and they're like, this is our son. And then
Let's see.
Ahsoka's like, oh my gosh, Stinky! Becky. I hope he's
Aw.
well.
Baby Stink.
Can you imagine? He like almost died. Honestly, they should be thanking
So sad.
the Jedi for all
Justice for
that they went through.
Stinky.
Period.
Justice for Stinky.
Period.
And I've always said that.
Always and forever.
He has a real name, but it's fine. We're gonna keep calling him Stinky.
Why would we call him by his real name? Do they know us? When did we ever call someone by their real name?
Yeah. No.
I
Stinky.
strongly called Grogu Go for the entirety of last podcast.
Go-Gurt.
I also have an apology from last week's episode. You know that part in the trailer where I was like, "Oh my god, that was Din Djarin," like all this stuff. It wasn't. So I lied.
You were
It
the big
was-
one pushing that agenda.
Okay, listen. I mean, I know Pedro Pascal's voice anywhere, so I'm still like a little bit like, okay, maybe that could be him, but I'm pretty sure he says the exact same lines in the trailer. But it is Robert. It's the director of the first one. He's voicing it. I didn't know that. But he sounds just like Pedro Pascal, apparently. So I would like to apologize that because once he started talking, I was like, oh no. I still think Din Djarin's in it. I 100% believe the stunt doubles were stunt doubling, and Mando wasn't even filming yet, so they are in it. Just not right now. So I apologize for that. But do you guys think, like, what's the tea on the mayor? Because I'm like, I don't know what to believe about him anymore now.
He's kind of sus. I find him
Yeah.
incredibly
Sus.
annoying.
Yeah.
He's very annoying. He sounds like a suburban, like, white dad, and he gives me weird vibes, but his character also just is super obnoxious.
I agree.
I agree. Do we think that he's working with the Hutts? Do you think that he wants the Hutts to keep control, or do you think that he has nothing to do with it?
I literally don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. It could just be that he's a goody two shoes mayor and doesn't want anything to do with the, crime syndicates or anything, and so he doesn't want to associate with them. Like, it could be as simple as that, but I doubt it. I'm not sure.
I agree.
I'm gonna be honest. Sorry, not to have a deep conversation, but I haven't put a lot of thought into his motivations and stuff, and I really I don't know.
No,
All I know
literally
is he bothers me.
Yeah.
I know that while I was watching the episode, I was like, I don't trust him.
I feel like something's gonna happen. I feel like he's spying on Boba for the Hutts or something like that, or because he obviously doesn't like Boba, and it seems like it doesn't. I mean, it feels like he doesn't like the Hutts either. So I'm just kind of like, but he has to. He has to be working with Hutts. Like, that's what I believe. I believe something's fishy going on. The mayor's just a big weenie, anyways. So I just hope that he passes away soon.
Yeah, he needs to go to Weenie Hut Seniors.
Yeah, absolutely.
My
That's
God.
what I'm the mayor of. Get out of my show. You bother me.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, if they're trying to put a character in there to annoy us, they might as well antagonize us. But then again, as I was saying this sentence, I just remembered Jar Jar Binks and that he is a protagonist, and I'm going to
Don't open
do not slander my king, Jar Jar Binks.
Miss, I don't care.
I literally am gonna leave. I'm just gonna hang up right now.
No,
we did not just.
I'm sorry.
Slander.
Okay. He's not annoying at all. He's so cute and fun. He's my girly. I love him.
Thank you. He is my bestie.
Yeah, I can tell.
He is my bestie.
I almost bought his
Who's it
Black
gonna be,
series.
Kenzie? Me or Jar Jar?
You're not gonna like the answer.
If me and Jar Jar were dangling off of a cliff, who would you save?
You, but only because you're.
Are we both there? Or I'm pretty sure Jar Jar can fly with his ears, so he could just fly off into the sunset.
I feel like he would survive. Like, I feel like Jar Jar would like not die if he fell off a building. You know.
Down the cliff. Let's talk about the whole train spice Tusken Raider thing that happened in this episode. The Pikes have made their appearance in live action, and I was kind of excited about that. The whole train battle, and him teaching them how to ride the speeder bikes, like a bantha, I was cackling. It was so good. I just loved that moment, and I loved that whole getting ready for battle moment. I just loved it so much.
Me too.
What's your favorite part of that scene?
I mean, I really feel like this is cool because in The Mandalorian, I really feel like the samurai inspirations of Star Wars were explored more in depth. But then in this episode, and please excuse my politically incorrect term, but it's the genre I'm describing, it really got in touch with the cowboys and Indians, kind of trope and style movies and stuff, old westerns that also inspired Star Wars. And I mean, I was seriously getting some Lone Ranger vibes, and it was just really cool to see very clear Western inspirations when we've seen a lot of the very clear Eastern, inspirations in Star Wars and other recent media. So I thought that was really cool that, some of George Lucas's like original inspirations and visions were explored more and applied to the Star Wars universe in a very explicit way, like very obvious way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like so cool and so high energy. I was also like really surprised by how long the like whole violence like lasted, like the fight choreography
The fight
and
scene.
stuff. Like I really thought it was gonna like wrap up, but then it just kept going and kept getting more interesting and better, and the stakes kept getting higher. I loved the droid that was driving the train.
Freaking creepy as hell.
Yeah, that was weird, and seeing Boba try to stop the train, like I was literally like biting my nails, like
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Polar Express when they're like,
yes,
what? Like I was literally like, I was like in the last movie that I watched with like a train was the Polar Express, and he's like left, right, and I was like seeing when he pulled the lever, I was like left, right. So,
pull the lever, Kronk.
That's what I thought of too. But no, I agree. I thought of Polar Express too, and like when they're on the ice and stuff and trying to stop the train, and that's so funny. Mine went as well. Like how much media and westerns
have we seen?
Like I said, the Lone Ranger. How many things have that same trope of stopping a train and anything? And like again, that's also what I thought of was Polar Express of all things. So funny.
Yeah. Also, the freaking like Tusken Raider like warrior woman. What a baddie.
She's a badass.
I want to know
Can I say that
everything
on here?
about
She's
her.
a badass.
Yeah. Sure. She's a baddie. They were freaking doing that train and she's like, no, I got this. Freaking runs the speeder bike into the train, jumps off and starts taking them one by one inside the train. I was just like, okay, where were you?
We call that girl bossery.
Girl bossing.
Can we get a girl
bossing? She did girl boss gatekeep gaslight them.
Girl boss moment of the week.
Certified.
You could do it.
That should be a segment, a girl boss moment of the week.
Okay,
yes, I agree.
So that was our girl boss moment of the week. We don't have our thing right now because we just thought about it. But
guys, this is how our minds work.
What?
I said this shows everyone how like the creative process works for us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's very spontaneous. But something tells me that we're gonna have a lot of Finnick girl boss moments of the week coming up.
I know.
I think she's gonna be our resident girl boss for a while.
Yeah. I'm kind of sad. We are doing a lot of flashbacks right now, which I'm loving it, enjoying it. But I miss Fennec. I want to see more of her. Yeah. So I'm hoping this week's episode. I hope this week's episode we see more of like the current stuff too. Because we saw literally probably like 40 minutes of the episode was all just flashbacks. Loved every minute of it. Not complaining. I'm ready to see some Fennec stuff in this next part. Maybe we see Fennec flashbacks of like how he met Fennec. We don't know. Like obviously we know how we met them.
I would love to see that. We literally know nothing about Fennec, and
we just saw his footprints. Like I have a lot of questions, so I'm excited about that. I loved that they gave him his robes in the whole like staffing. The whole freaking when they pulled out the lizard, I was like, all right, Disney princess. Like I really thought we were about to have a pet lizard, and then I was like, wait, why is the lizard not?
I know. I thought it was a pet at first as well. I thought it was like a Disney princess sidekick, and then I was like, oh.
Yeah. And then he went up his nose, which like. Y'all don't understand this reference, but there's like in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like there's like a slug that goes inside. Don't laugh.
No, I knew you were gonna talk about this because I kept seeing your tweets.
I kept on tweeting about freaking Leonardo, my king. But there's a part in the series where there's like a slug that goes inside their brain and makes them like lose their mind and stuff like that. And so when the lizard went up their nose, I was like, oh my gosh, cameo.
Seeing him make the gaffy stick was really cool, and like it added like a lot of depth to that prop. And like my boyfriend and I, like we even said that it like even now has more depth than a lot of lightsabers have that we see on screen. And it was just really cool to see like a very clear like story and culture like attached to a specific object, and it just made it a lot more deep. I don't know, a lot deeper. It was really cool.
I didn't even think about like how we don't see like the building of lightsabers in live action. We only saw it in Clone Wars and stuff. So that does make it like so much more emotional, like connected to his
If
stuff,
only they had given us Rey building her lightsaber, but it's fine, I guess.
It's fine. We'll take it.
I have a lot of feelings about that one, but it's whatever.
Really?
Could have never guessed, right?
Yeah. Could have never guessed.
I agree with everything that's already been said. I am enjoying getting to see them more, and just like we've kind of been talking about throughout Mando and Boba, is just getting to see them more and see like more like personification, or like showing more of their personality, because before in Star Wars they weren't really like, they didn't spend a lot of time on them or like building out their personalities outside of the very little amount that we saw. So I've been enjoying just getting to see like Boba like building a relationship with them, I guess. It's been very cool to see that.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention this, but one thing I did recognize was, remember in Mandalorian when they were like, oh, you need to pay a fee to cross their Dune Sea or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was like a direct reference to when Boba told him that they need to start paying to cross on their train. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool to see Boba's influence, and how like even Din knew that, and that became like a common thing that everyone knew on Tatooine because of Boba. And so I really liked that.
I had no idea thing. That's a really cool connection. I said that's a really cool connection. I had no idea, and I'm really glad that you pointed that out, because I don't know if I would have made that on my own.
Yeah, well, I had a friend point it out to me because I didn't even know it either, so it's fine. But I just think I liked that because obviously Boba was on Tatooine for like 5 years before The Mandalorian or something like that, and so I'm interested to see what other things Boba has influence on Tatooine that we have seen in The Mandalorian so far. Obviously, we haven't seen too much, What?
Sorry. Until you just said that out loud right this second, that Boba is only
the scissors.
that Boba is only like 5-6 years after the originals, right? Why is he so old? I mean, obviously he's old because of Tamara Morrison, but you know what I mean?
He got crusted and roasted.
Obviously, there's only so much we can do because Tamara Morrison is obviously just getting older. But when you think about it, like how old was Boba supposed to be in the originals? We didn't know, did we?
I mean, I would think that being digested and tortured would speed up your aging process a few years.
Yeah,
we also have to talk about how he's like in this desert sun and he has no SPF protection, especially when he's kidnapped. I'm guessing they weren't slathering him in sunscreen. So that also can accelerate your aging.
Do you think they like have sunblock in space?
That's a good
I freaking
question.
hope so.
Like they have to be like the number one producers on Tatooine with 2 suns, double whammies. Like they have
God.
Maybe
their UV index has to be so high.
Trade. Like maybe that's like
maybe yeah. Somebody has to have a sunblock store or something because
Boba be looking good after he does this little meditation in the pool of dreams. So, maybe it's just
not the pool of dreams.
Cells. Yeah.
New name for the
fountain of
everybody.
The fountain
of youth. Literally, it's obviously because Tamara Morrison is old, so there's not really much they can do about that one. But just in my silly little brain, I like to think about these things.
Yeah. All right. Anything before we sign off, any last things about this episode? Anything that you want to see in the next episode? Any theories? Final
I've said what I needed to
comments?
say. I want to know more about Finnick because right now the extent of what we know about her is that she's a master assassin, and I want to know
I agree.
how that came to be. So yeah, I hope that some of the upcoming flashbacks, show us how Boba and Finnick met and more about Finnick's background. Because right now she's kind of the enigma that Boba Fett was in the original trilogy. So ironically, she's kind of taken his place as the mysterious one. So I want to know more about her and her place, and that's my final thought of the day.
I agree. I think that's like my thing too, is what I'm looking forward the most. We've gotten like the more action that we were looking for. We've gotten that like comic book character appearance, whatever. Now, like I said, back when we discussed what we were excited for Book of Boba, I was like, to see Fennec. I want to see this queen, this like new character, someone new and fresh and interesting. So I'm also excited for that. I hope that they start to explore her a little bit more. And then I hope that we see the bounty hunter again. I hope we see the Wookiee again, because bring me the Wookiee. Bring me the Wookiee.
Bring us the furball. We want him. Yep, I totally agree. I loved this episode. I'm so excited for, I guess, when this comes out. I'm so excited for tomorrow, Wednesday, for more boba tea. I don't really have any theories. I'm going into it open-minded. I'm excited.
Open heart, open mind.
Open heart, open
Only way
mind.
to be.
Girl boss.
I will say the one thing that's been super impressive since this started, and I don't know if it's just because I've actually been watching the episodes on time this time around, but I feel like spoilers have not been as bad.
Really? Because it's like, people think it's the complete opposite on Twitter, but I agree with you. I think there's some people that also there hasn't been any like big spoilers yet.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a lot of spoilers in Mando, and so we saw a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, like before, right? Like I would not be able to watch an episode till like night, till like the end of the day. And like I would literally have to avoid Twitter like the plague, because I would immediately see a spoiler as soon as it dropped at like 3:00 in the morning. Whereas like with this, like I still don't watch till the end of the night because of work or whatever. But like I don't end up seeing anything throughout the day that's like major spoilers. Like I knew for this episode there was going to be a comic book character because my friend has a big mouth. But I didn't know who it was. Like I didn't know it was going to be the Wookiee. So, and I didn't hear about the characters, the original trilogy little moment. So I will say, but again, I'm not as active as I used to be on social media either. But when I do scroll through Twitter, I haven't seen as much.
I agree. I'm interested to see when something big happens, if something big happens, how spoilers react on that. And if you guys do get spoiled, if you do work or whatever, you can't watch it, just avoid Twitter. Just no matter what we say, just avoid Twitter. Don't do it. It's always not worth it. So
always the safest bet to just avoid it.
Appreciate it.
Except for when you're logging on to Twitter to go follow the Ladylorians account, because we never post spoilers.
Do that first. And then
we never post spoilers on the Ladylorians account, so that's always safe to follow. Our personal accounts is subject to the individual person. So I will say my account is never my account is never safe from spoilers. But
I try to wait till the weekend.
I mean, I don't post
unless Mando shows up. Then I promise.
Oh, if Mando shows up, I'm literally all of a sudden I'm going to be the most active person on Twitter ever again.
That's fair.
But
that's the same if Luke shows up. Not that he will, but if Luke would ever show up, Ruthie would feel the same thing. Or pirate.
Yeah.
Ruthie would be
a pirate.
A pirate. Just a space pirate.
Ben Solo comes back. I'm ascending.
Anyways, thank you for watching. Follow us on the socials, Instagram, Twitter, at the Ladylorians. You'll find us there. We do updates. We'll post when we're recording. Sometimes we do polls, all this fun jazz. If we get 1,000 followers on Instagram, we'll eat some socks. So I think
Who said that?
Dodge.
I said it and I stand by it.
I'll
And
eat a
we are all eating. This is not up to discussion. I put it out there, and apparently people don't want us to eat socks because we're still under 1,000. So go follow us on Instagram. Follow our individual Twitters, Instagrams, all that jazz. On our YouTube, it will have our links to all of our socials if you want to follow us there. We will
in the description box.
In the description. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts because we haven't had a review in a while and it makes us very sad. And we always look forward to reviews and we talk about you all the time. And then you're our new favorite person ever. So you should go do
It's
that
true.
right now. It's true. So you should go do that right now. And is that it? Right?
I think that's it.
All right. Thank you guys for watching and we will see you all next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.